Hello, YouTube. It is me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Rotten Tomatoes Month. We're back, and I finally found my copy of this movie. I saw this movie last year on cable. Really enjoyed it. It's a 2018 American black comedy mystery film directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, two directors, kind of like Captain Marvel. And that is Game Night. Yes, this movie is freaking awesome. I was very surprised how much I enjoyed this movie because the premise seemed good. I liked the trailer when I saw it in the theater, but I was like, it's in February. It might be really too dark or too unfunny. Basically, it says here, yeah, Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams follows a group of friends whose game night turns into a real life murder mystery after one of them is kidnapped by apparent burglars. Kind of like Home Alone, but for adults. The film's supporting cast includes Billy Magnuson, Sharon Horgan, Lamorne Morris, Kylie Bunbury, Jesse Plemons, Michael C. Hall, who he's barely in the movie, but he's in it, and Kyle Chandler. He's the one that I think gets kidnapped, pretty much. Which, by the way, I'm going to say there's a twist, but I'm going to get to that later. So this movie, yeah, it came out in February. It came out like a couple weeks after Black Panther. It was $37 million for the budget, and it made 117. It's a huge profit. It also was nominated for a Detroit Film Critics Society for Best Actor. Plemons. Who's Plemons? Let me see who Plemons is. Oh, that's this guy. Yeah, the freckle faced guy with the red hair. Yeah, he was fine in the movie. There's basically a story behind him, so he was fine. The film does have its share of flaws, but I'm gonna say them right now. Like, I thought the Irish girl was awful. You could have cut her out of the movie. She does not serve a purpose. She's like, oh, I'm Irish and I'm standing with one of the other guys. She has no personality. She's boring. And yeah, let me see who she is. Yeah, she's some Sharon Laurenci Horgan. I've never heard of her. Never. She really is Irish. This is an Irish actress, writer, and comedian. Well, you can't make me laugh. You're the only thing in the movie that this is her. This is her boring face, oh Mike. Am I racist? No, guys. I told you I'm not. I have a lot of friends of different races on YouTube and Facebook, and it's just when they're boring, when they have accents that I can't understand what the hell they're saying, and they're not funny, I'm just like, no, you can leave now. But the rest of the cast is phenomenal. Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman have great chemistry on screen. They get it. I buy them as a married couple that they're trying to have a baby, and because he has a problem, which is normal. That happens in normal everyday life. Some people just can't have children because the juices aren't flowing, especially at a certain age. But then at the end of the movie, Rachel McAdams is like, "Yep, we hit the jackpot. We're gonna have a baby," and I'm like, "Yeah, it was convenient, but it's just sweet." Danny Houston is in the movie. It was good to see him. I think he's one of the burglars. The film, the premise, I like it that they're gonna, they like to play a bunch of games at home, charades and Twister, whatever, a lot of interesting things, and yeah, and the film's premise, it got me like because they think that when the house is being invaded, they said, "Oh, this is just an act. We can take it." And then when they say that when shit really gets real, they're like, "Okay, so now this is not a joke anymore. We got to get going." And the rest of the cast, the two black people in the movie, are really fun to watch. They're not, yeah, they talk, the way the black people do, but they're not like stupid stereotypes from a Tyler Perry movie. They have brains. They're not idiots. They're not too ghetto. They're fine. And Kylie Bunbury is beautiful. Look at that face. Very, very, very cute. And like I said, the film has a dark tone. Like, there's a scene where Jason Bateman gets shot in the arm and he starts bleeding from his arm and it spills all over the floor. But it's not like Kick Ass. It's not the first joke in the movie is somebody committing suicide and dying. No, that's not funny. To me, that's just mean spirited. But here it works because him and Rachel McAdams. Rachel McAdams is lovely, guys. I liked her in Doctor Strange. She's beautiful in The Notebook. Mean Girls. She's one of the best mean blondes I've ever seen, and I didn't know that was her. She looked like she was 12 in that movie. But here, she's all grown up, and look at that face. Again, I like faces. I like women that actually look like women, not little girls. Like, what's her name? What's her face from Terminator Genesis. Emilia Clarke, she looks like she's 12. Looks like a little girl. I don't want a little girl. I want a real woman. And this is a real woman right here. And so is Kali Bunbury. And the movie, yeah, the critics gave it an 84%. It deserves it. This is one of the best comedies of last year. Considering how shitty the comedies were of last year, you had Life of the Party, you had freaking Happy Time Murders, you had what other comedies? Sherlock Gnomes for kids, which was bad. You had with movies with Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish. Yeah, Nobody's Fool. Yeah, just no. Stop making racial stereotype movies and make something like more like this. A black comedy that's not afraid to get R rated. It has curse words. It doesn't hold your hand. So if you get offended with curse words, I'm sorry. Uh, Member YouTube community, but it's R. This is not for kids. There's a lot of sexual references, and there's blood, and there's a lot of violence, and there's a lot of shootouts, and the action sequences. People get killed in this movie, especially at the end in the airplane scene. That's really really dark, but it's so messed up. It makes me laugh. Like, it's not like, oh my god, someone committed suicide, I'm depressed. No, it's not depressing. It knows the tone that it is, and it goes for it. And just it has a lot of gags. And this dog kind of reminded me of the dog in There's Something About Mary. And the acting is really good. Like I said, the only one I didn't like was the Irish girl, because she's like she has all the personality of a brick. But yeah, the critic said, with a talented cast turned loose on a loaded premise and a sharp script loaded with dark comedy and unexpected twists. Excuse me, I just got up. Game night might be more fun than the real thing. Yeah, it is, because it's at 100 minutes, Game Night pushes its premise to the wall of synthetic escapism. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was watching, like real life. It took me out of my situation. I had laughs, and it says here, nonstop laughs with lots of twists and turns. Yeah, and there's a lot of things you don't see coming. It was a nice surprise for 2018, because I was expecting, oh great, this is going to be another Horrible Bosses. I hated Horrible Bosses, guys. If you saw my rant on it, I hated that movie because it wasn't just mean spirited. It wasn't funny. I didn't laugh. I chuckled once. It's not enough for me. This actually made me laugh several times, even with its crude, dark humor. It still made me laugh. And like the other movies of 2018 that were really good, that were funny, like some of the Marvel and DC movies, it knows what it is and it went for it. This wasn't going to win any Oscars for Best Original Screenplay or acting, but it still did the job. And if you want to see an R-rated comedy that's actually good, and it's not just penis and vagina jokes for the entire 90 minutes or so, this is one for you. If you're a kid, don't watch this, because this is not meant for you until you have an adult mind like me. So yeah, and like I said, the two leads have great chemistry. It really shows on screen. I wish they were in Horrible Bosses together, and not whoever they got for the first one. And they don't over sexualize Rachel McAdams. She's a woman, but they don't show her naked all the time, or they don't show her like throwing herself at a guy like freaking Jennifer Aniston does in Horrible Bosses, who's a man eater. There's none of that, and there's no feminism here. She's a strong woman, but she knows what she is. And when he, proposes to her and everything, it's very sweet. It's got a heart to it. That's what I was missing in half of the comedies in this decade. Heart. You got to make me care, and I cared about these characters. So, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.